Welcome back to Bet Racing Nation, and obviously during that little break there you would have seen some of the clips we've had. We've had John McCurrick on, Jeff Banks, and we have a news forum style programme on a Thursday which you can catch on sportstonight.live.com or the Sports Tonight Live app. Now, before the break we spoke to Bobby, who's very keen on Al Kazeem. One of our YouTube clips actually goes back to Cheltenham this year when he was forever on about Rock on Ruby winning the Arkle, and I told him it couldn't jump. I'm a bit more today. I'm not so sure today because it is one of those 50-50 calls. But Al Kazeem, you're very keen on it, Bobby.
You know what? I am, and I'm going purely on the experience. You know, if he'd won like a few lists of races before he came into the race fresh, then yeah, you've got the argument of he's only winning list of company. But we're talking Group 1 races here. You know, the Coral Eclipse, the Prince of Wales Stakes at Royal Ascot. You know, 6 in the Arc de Triomphe, as we quite rightly said. You know, the Arc de Triomphe is a hard race anyway. He did finish 6. He's a previous course and distance winner. You know, and if he does turn up on his day, he will be the one to beat. And
Roger Charlton's already come out and said, though, that, you know, the horse will need the run.
Yeah, I think it's a given that he's going to need the run, isn't it?
I think it's a stonewall certainty. I mean,
what did you say? £15? Was it?
How could you back at it? Yeah,
oh,
15 kilos.
15 kilos. Well, okay, 15 kilos.
If you're having a bet in the race, you're mad. I mean, Al Kazeem could win on the bridle, and I'd be happy to let him win at 7 to 4.
Yeah, of course, so would I. At least I'd love to see him win. I think, you know, it's great to see a horse of that, you know, of his calibre come back and win a race of this. But from a betting point of view,
it's the kind of race you cheer on just for racing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want one of the big
horses. But people at home are going, well, if you don't fancy Al Kazeem, what do you fancy? What do you fancy? Do you fancy anything else?
The only one I could possibly put up against him is Nabucco each way. Just because Nabucco always runs his race, the ground's come right. He came out of the John Smith's Cup last week. OK, he's got to give £3 to everything, but he's just such a consistent horse. He doesn't know how to run a bad race. The first 3, I'd be almost disappointed if he was out of the placings, but it's just not a great race if you look further down the card.
But he's pulled out because of fast ground. Now, if they don't get the rain, and even with this heat, it's going to dry up pretty quickly. It's still going to be pretty quick.
It'll be. I think it'll be softer than it was last week at York, anyway.
No, possibly. What about the Andre Farb horse, which is the one I'm going to tip up actually? Triple Threat.
Interesting, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I would say stay clear of Triple Threat. I know you like him.
Put him a little match bet. We're going to have a little match bet. People at home have got a little match bet. We only bet what we can afford. It's only £1.
Well, the thing is with Triple Threat is he's only had the one run in England, and it was last in the Champion Stakes at Ascot last season. Now, for me, I know he's been running okay over in France, but for me, he needs the ground to be a lot softer. Now, I know we've had a bit of rain over at Newbury. The ground is still good to firm. You know, but for me, I think he needs soft ground for him to run a good race. So, for me, Pete, I think you're a brave man. Unless you absolutely...
Well, I mean, he's mad as well. It's
just like no, I mean, you don't bring the horse all the way over to from France if you don't expect the horse to run well. Yeah. Last time we saw the horse was behind Sirius in April, I do believe, if my facts are right. Yeah, in April. And the gap, sometimes you can say, well, the gap is always a concern. But with a trainer like this, there's just no point in bringing it over from France if it has no chance at all. I think 6 to 1 is terrific.
If you look at the horses come back from a break, pretty much all of them have some kind of break to overcome. You've got 66 days, 112, 83, 279. So a lot's got to be taken on fitness, really.
But people don't understand, very quickly going back to Al Kazeem, why is Al Kazeem receiving the weight?
Well, he just doesn't get a
penalty.
Yeah, he doesn't get a penalty for his group wins. This season. Nabucco's obviously got to give all the weight away for winning a listed race back at Newmarket last year, doesn't he?
Although he's won his group races, right? If you haven't won or been placed in a Group 1 or group race since September the 1st, 2013, you don't get a penalty in this race. And that's why he's running like...
and that's why Roger Charlton's seen one, isn't
it? It's a good bit of placement by Roger Charlton, in fairness.
Yeah, it is. It's very good, and that's why he doesn't have. You know, that's why he can get into this with the weight.
So there's a gap from September. That's why you get the weight.
Yeah, there's always a cut-off point. You know.
Okay. What about Vancouverite?
He's the second highest
rated. He's
rated 115. So I suppose he's next in the official ratings to Al Kazeem, and he's getting he's only getting £3 off him or whatever, which weighs it up a little bit more. A horse I like in particular is Baltic Knight, Richard Hellens. Second last time at Windsor. I know he's only 107, but his form suggests he's running like a horse that's improving with every run. And he was only just beaten last time. I think he will. I mean, why won't he? Like, do you know what I mean? I mean,
I'm asking you.
If you ever wanted a horse to get a trip, Richard Hughes is the best man to ride him because he'll ride him stone cold. And
at the back.
Yeah, stone cold. Drop him in and
put him to sleep
and ride him to get a trip.
And in terms of
so I think as an each way price, I mean, I think he's 9 to 1 in the paper. He's bigger than that. I think he's about 12, 13 to 1.
So from your point of view, Jimmy, if you're riding a potential non-stayer, do you presumably you're looking for the quick finish, aren't you? You're holding him at the back. You're hoping for a slow pace because if they go quick, it might burn him out. I'm not talking about Bridget Knight specifically. I'm talking about how you would run a race.
No, it's probably the other way around.
Okay.
If you're riding a horse that stays, you want them to go quick in front.
At the front, yeah.
So that they tend to slow down in front, and then your stamina will kick in. But as you say, with this horse, will he stay? There's a question mark. So he usually, if he reckons he's got some speed, he'd like them maybe to go a little bit slower early doors.